Alright, these questions are not the exact same ones as the others, but you'll get the main idea here. So the first thing I would think about is what's the common denominator, and 5x is going to be our common denominator here. So on the left side I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 5, and that gives me the 5x. On the right side I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x, and that gives me what I needed, which is a common denominator. The whole work of this idea was to make this common, and then the work just becomes to put that together. So I get 5x minus 5 minus 8x all over 5x. And then group the like terms. That would be minus 3x minus 5 all over 5x. This would be my final answer, because I can't just you can't just jump in there and start knocking out x's or things like that. Again, remember how this is all connected as one item. If you can factor something out, great. If you can't, this would be the final answer. Let me do another one of a similar type here. Let's do let me just knock some of this stuff out of the way here. I probably could have paused and done this. In the next case, let's take a look at those two denominators. So I think we're going to work with 6x squared to be the magic number. And so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x in this case to get 6x squared. And there's a 2x up top because I multiplied by x. On this other side, I just multiply by 3. That would give me 9x over 6x squared. And now I can combine these, so I get 11x over 6x squared. Now in this case, everything is multiplied, and I notice that I have an x up here and an x squared down here, so I could divide out an x in both cases, and this would be my final answer. It would be the reduced rational expression there by dividing it out. Again, the key to success here is I multiplied top and bottom by an x to get that, and then I multiplied top and bottom by a 3 to get that, so that they could be added together. In the last one, it's kind of tricky because it's subtraction, and one is an x plus 1, and the other one is an x minus 3, so I'm actually going to just straight outright multiply these by both sides. This is going to be my denominator to these two guys. Some people think, okay, like, can I add this or subtract that? You wouldn't do that at all. So what you're going to do is multiply this side by x minus 3 to get x plus 1 times x minus 3. And then we're subtracting 2 times x plus 1, because I'm going to multiply this x minus 3 by an x plus 1. And let's because those denominators are the same, this denominator, oops, that's interesting, the denominator, let me grab my correct tool there, this denominator and this denominator are the same, so then we can combine the top. We would get x minus 3 minus 2x minus 2. Now what I'm doing is I'm multiplying this times this, the negative 2x, and the negative 2 times this, all over our magical x minus 3x plus 1. And then we're going to combine like terms. So the x minus 2x gives me minus 1x, and a minus 3, and the minus 2 gives me minus 5, all over x minus 3x plus 1. Now I could pull out a negative there and I would get x plus 5, but it doesn't change what I could reduce, so this would be the answer. So I guess all I would say to this one, because it's kind of tricky like that, is that what I had to be careful of is I had to take the value here, this negative 2, and by multiplying it in I got negative 2x minus 2, and then combine that. Pretty tricky stuff, keep track of it, but it works just like adding and subtracting fractions.